7 o'clock, a person of interest is being questioned this morning in the shootings of 13 people in a park on Chicago's South Side. The youngest victim, a 3-year-old boy. Now, at this hour, we are standing by for police to update their investigation for us. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Windy City Live is coming right up. But first of all, I have the latest on this morning's top story. The gunfire began just after 10 o'clock last night. This was at Cornell Square Park. It's near 51st and Wood Street. The victims are being treated at various hospitals this morning. Now, we have a series of live reports. ABC 7's Jessica D'Onofrio. She's at Mount Sinai Hospital with an update on the condition of that youngest victim. Right now, though, let's begin with Jason Knowles. He is live from police headquarters. Police are set to update their investigation. Jason?
Well, Linda, right now, Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy is about to hold a news conference to update us on that investigation. We are told that one person is being questioned by police right now. Meantime, community members are out and about. They are passing out these flyers here saying that people can report violent crimes. You can call 1-800-YOU, that is the letter U, 1-800-YOU-TELL-US. Meantime, you can see those community members out and about right now this morning. They're from the group Community Against Violence. They did come to the crime scene at Cornell Square Park in the back of the Yards neighborhood. They are passing out those flyers, telling people to call them at 1-800-YOU-TELL-US, or more importantly, call police if witnesses know anything about last night's mass shooting. 13 people struck by gunfire and injured. One is a 3-year-old in critical condition, but expected to recover. This morning, witnesses said that there were at least 2 shooters. One had long dreadlocks. They were in a tan or gray sedan.
I just heard the gunshots. I was laying down and I heard the gunshot, and I knew they was pretty close. I knew it was somewhere on the block, and then when I came out, it was a lot of people running around the park, and I know the 3-year-old that had got shot.
In a statement released, Mayor Rahm Emanuel said that the perpetrators of this crime will be brought to justice. He's actually on his way back from Washington, D.C. right now. He did cancel some meetings. He's on his way back because of this shooting. We're live at police headquarters. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 News. Now back to you.
All right, Jason, thank you. And ABC 7's Jessica D'Onofrio. Also, breaking news from the Dirksen Federal Building this morning. A judge has sentenced former Cook County Commissioner William Beavers for failing to report income and using campaign cash for gambling. ABC 7's Jason Knowles joins us live with the sentence that was just handed down a couple hours ago. Jason?
Well, Linda, prosecutors say that William Beavers was a victim of his own greed. He will now spend 6 months in a federal prison. He was just sentenced about an hour ago. The former commissioner, alderman, and police officer arrived at his hearing 30 minutes early. He didn't make a statement to the judge. Federal prosecutors asked Judge James Zagel to give Beavers 21 months for his tax evasion conviction, saying he didn't pay about $30,000 in taxes on gambling money that he took from his campaign fund. Beavers' defense team said that he always paid the money back. They asked for probation, saying that the 79-year-old was targeted by the FBI and the IRS to help convict other politicians. When he refused, they charged him. In the end, Judge James Zagel said it was a common tax offense. There was no corruption, and he was not selling his vote, so he gave him only 6 months behind bars and 1 year supervised release. What are you expecting?
What am I expecting? I expect to get a sentence today.
But you said you're not going to beg.
Listen, I don't beg for nothing, okay? All right? It's not being defined. It's just that I'm a man.
Besides the 6 months in prison, Beavers will also have to pay a $10,000 fine. He will also have to pay the government back that $30,000 in back taxes. We're live from the federal courthouse. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 News. Linda, back to you.
Jason, thanks very much. A man who was celebrating his 32nd...
Live with that story. Jason.
Well, Jose, the man's body was pulled from the lake around 11 o'clock last night. A family member who was just here on the scene about an hour ago confirming that for me. If you look right now, you can see the pictures from last night. Divers in the water. The Antioch Fire Department used sonar and divers to search the murky waters of Lake Marie starting at 7 last night. The man who fell in the water and died was in his 40s. He was on a boat with his family at the time, and he fell in the lake. Those family members called 911. One friend of the victim last night said that he was a good swimmer and an athlete. Now, Stacy, the man's identity is not being released. The family is asking for privacy this morning, but we are expected to get an update in a little bit from the fire department. We're live in Antioch. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 News. Now back to you.
Thank you, Jason. This morning we Games. ABC 7's Jason Knowles is getting some reaction to the biggest game of the season. He is live in the West Loop this morning. Jason?
Well, good morning, Judy. The headlines say it all. It was a happy ending, and they were kings for a day. Of course, Bulls fans still celebrating this morning after that big upset. The Bulls cooling off the heat. Go on the street! Go on the street! Bulls fans celebrated outside the United Center after the team, in what appeared to be against all odds, ended the Heat's 27-game win streak.
Oh, man, exciting, man. Part of history. What can you say? Part of history. He's speechless, too.
Yeah. LeBron needed an ambulance. LeBron needed an ambulance. I saw it in the back. LeBron needed an ambulance.
Bulls fans also poked fun at the Heat superstar as they sported giant headshots of LeBron James crying. Going into the game, many thought the Heat would easily dispatch the Bulls. With Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Marco Bellinelli, and Richard Hamilton out, the Bulls appeared undermanned against the defending world champs, but the team rose to the occasion.
It's a big win for us, especially being shorthanded. We played really well, shared the ball, we rebounded very well. We held our composure when they were making a little run at the end, and then we hit our free throws. So it was a great game by everybody.
We just stepped up. We just came in with that dog mentality that we weren't going to go soft, especially at home in Chicago. We weren't going to let them come in and just prance around. We wanted to come out, make a statement, and try to play tough.
And the Bulls have a day of rest today. They will resume practice tomorrow, but this is sure to be the talk of the town all morning long. Hopefully we'll be getting some more fan reaction as some people actually come in here to the Palace Grill for breakfast. We're right near the United Center. Judy, Jose, back to both of you from the West Loop.
Some happy fans this morning.
Jason, bring me some hash browns.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
That does sound good right now, doesn't it? Gun offenders out on Chicago streets shooting and killing when they could have been behind bars. Police and prosecutors say it is an ongoing problem. ABC 7's Jason Knowles has uncovered records that show judges have been letting some offenders off easy. Jason.
Well, Kathy Ron, no matter which side of the gun control debate you are on, there are current laws that can severely punish criminals using illegal, unregistered guns. But many of those people are quickly back on the streets, and some go on to be alleged murderers. 74-year-old William Thomas, the South Shore neighborhood janitor, was an innocent victim of gang gunfire.
And it still hurts because when we come out here, you can see where he would be.
One of the alleged killers, Aramis McKenzie, could have been behind bars at the time of the October 2012 murder. In 2011, he was convicted of illegally using a weapon, but ended up back on the streets within months.
You know what I'm saying? Because we cease fire.
And 24-year-old Daryl Chambers, seen here during an I-Team report on gangs, got 2 years of probation for unlawful use of a weapon in 2011. Police say he, too, could have been in prison, but instead he's now charged in a shooting that injured 3 people on July 4th.
That's who my girlfriends was up with their kids.
One of them critically, 5-year-old Jaden Donald.
There are already several laws on the books which allow judges to give people who are wielding illegal guns several years behind bars, but that may not be happening. Law enforcement officials say that many times they see criminals only getting the 1-year minimum or even probation.
2,000 offenders were convicted in 2012 of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon for holding an illegal, unregistered gun without a FOID card. That charge carries a minimum of 1 year and a maximum of 3 years. The Circuit Court of Cook County wouldn't tell us how many offenders received the minimum, but did provide us with raw data. Out of 36,000 individual charges in 2012, ABC 7 found that only 12% resulted in a sentence, the majority of them a year or less.
And credit for the amount of time they've spent in custody prior to their pleading guilty or prior to trial. So, for example, today, if someone were sentenced to the minimum 1 year, we're talking 6 months or less, and what we've seen is less.
Chicago police also point to almost 100 gun offenders this year alone back on the street within months and then charged again with shooting or killing.
At the end of the day, what happens when we make that arrest? And many times we find out that individuals get probation.
Why aren't we giving the maximum sentences for people carrying illegal guns and for people involved in shooting?
Now law enforcement officials are pushing legislation in Springfield which would strengthen current laws by increasing minimum sentences and enforcing truth in sentencing. Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy says similar laws are working in New York because gun offenders are afraid of facing serious prison time so they don't commit the crime. We requested an interview with the chief judge about this story. He declined to be on camera, but in this statement he does say that the duties of the judiciary are to administer fair and impartial justice. Chief Judge Timothy Evans has every confidence that the judges of the Circuit Court of Cook County will continue to perform their duties. Now, Ron and Kathy, prosecutors and law enforcement officials say that they do not believe any specific judges are actually to blame for letting offenders off easy, but it may just be the culture of the courts.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
And right now, you can bid on a dozen items bought illegally by former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. ABC 7's Jason Knowles is live in the Jackson South Shore neighborhood with a look at the auction that kicked off just this morning. Jason.
Well, hi, Judy. Jesse Jackson Jr. has to pay the government back $750,000. Today, there is an online auction to help raise those funds, and you can see right now that many of those items are already up. They are ready for you to buy them, and you can bid right now. There are those luxury furs, and if we scroll down, you can see that Michael Jackson poster, which is framed. Former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., who goes to prison November 1st, illegally bought several luxury items with campaign funds, along with spending money on travel and home improvements. Today, the U.S. Marshals Service will begin to auction 12 items, including pieces of memorabilia, a women's fur-lined cape, items signed by Michael Jackson, and Bruce Lee movie memorabilia. The Marshals Service, however, dropped the most expensive item, an autographed Eddie Van Halen guitar. It may be fake.
Concerns were raised on the authenticity of the signature of Eddie Van Halen, and so we need to drill down on that. Anything of value, anything that has equity that he owns will be fair game.
Jackson's Washington, D.C. home and his Chicago home here are not for sale. They are not up for auction, but either way, he needs to pay back that $750,000 by the end of October. If you would like to bid on some of the items, you can go to our website at abc7chicago.com. That will take you to the auction website. We're live in the South Shore neighborhood. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 News. Now back to you.
Jason, thank you. Well, and a developing story in Chicago, warning for people in one of the city's most visited areas for tourists. ABC 7's Jason Knowles live in the River North neighborhood with a warning now from police. Jason.
Well, Jose, tourists come here all the time. It's also a popular place to live, and now thieves are targeting people in the River North neighborhood. Many times what they'll do is they'll punch people. They will also throw them to the ground and then steal from them. Now, since the end of August, there's been 3 documented incidents, and police are now releasing a community alert. All of them happening on the 400 block of North Wabash, State in Illinois, and State in Ohio, either late at night or early in the morning. Investigators say that offenders approach people as they're walking down the sidewalk, punch people, and then push them to the ground, then steal belongings. Police are telling people to hide their smartphones, hold on tight to purses and bags. You should also walk with someone and stay in well-lit areas. The muggers, police say, are the same woman between the ages of 25 and 35. Now, Judy, the descriptions are vague, but police are also saying that after the couple robs people, they run off to a 4-door, dark-colored car. We're live in the River North neighborhood. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 News. Now back to you.
Okay, Jason, thank you. High prices at the pump are motivating motorists to find some deals. Gas rewards programs are an option for many, but are you really saving money? ABC 7's Jason Knowles is live right now to tell us what we should watch out for. Jason.
Well, Judy, gas rewards programs are everywhere, claiming to save you anywhere from 5 cents to 20 cents a gallon. Now, for some people, this is a win-win. They can save maybe a couple $100 a year, but you really have to inspect the fine print. From grocery store programs to special credit cards, the offers are everywhere. How much money do you think you saved today on gas?
I don't know. I spent about
$160.
After doing the math, it turns out Christina McKee's $160 grocery store visit using her rewards program will save her 5 cents a gallon, about $2 on her next fill-up. Is it really worth it? Only $2?
I think it is in the end because gas is so expensive.
Better Business Bureau President Steve Burness says grocery store rewards programs like Jewel Shell and Dominic's Mobile could save you hundreds of dollars a year if you are loyal to them. But there are restrictions. ABC 7 went over the fine print and found that there are limitations on the money you can save per gallon per visit. And some grocery store products like alcohol, gift cards, stamps, cigarettes, and fluid dairy products may not always qualify towards points. Plus, points you've earned can expire.
You really have to understand the fine print and understand what the limitations are because it can take it away the reward after 45 days.
AAA says that gas prices are actually going down in the United States, but not in the Midwest where they have recently been going up. The city of Chicago and the state of Illinois consistently ranking #1 when it comes to the highest gas prices in the nation. So it's no wonder why people are doing whatever they can to save money at the pump. Special credit cards also offer fuel deductions, but there's a warning for those too. If you don't pay the balance in full every month, interest rates ranging anywhere from 17 to 24% can end up taking away your gas savings.
If there's an annual fee you're paying, you're really not saving anything, no matter what their rewards are.
AAA's Rewards Visa doesn't have an annual fee and can give you double points at any gas station of your choice. It's similar to Joe Leonard's Discover card, which doesn't limit where you fill up.
I use it straight for gas, so whenever I use gas, it'll just give me the 2% cash back.
Stephen Brown's ultimate option, canceling his gas station rewards credit card.
Didn't seem worth it, and certainly some of the things in the fine print didn't explain fully what you were getting for your credit exposure.
And the Better Business Bureau does say that consumers have filed false advertising complaints against some of these gas rewards programs, but companies do have disclaimers protecting them in their pamphlets and online. Judy Jose, the bottom line here is you may not really be saving as much as you think once you add it all up. It may be easier just to find a cheap gas station in your neighborhood. Back to both of you in the studio.
Jason, good job. I never thought you'd be the one saving me money. Good job with that.
Good information, yes.
Right now it is 6:15.